Last week, a celebrity favorite here at SciShow, the visionary billionaire Elon Musk, displayed the first crewed spacecraft to be unveiled in the US since 1981. Meanwhile, a planet somewhat like Earth, only way bigger, is making heads get scratched and minds be blown as it challenges our theories about how planets form and how the universe itself evolved. I'm Reed Reimers. Welcome to SciShow Space News. On Monday, astronomers from the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics announced they'd discovered a whole new class of exoplanet, a kind of giant terrestrial world they call a MegaEarth. This new category is based on a planet first observed by the Kepler Space Telescope in May 2011, an alien world known as Kepler-10c. When Kepler observed the planet transiting across its star, Kepler-10, astronomers measured it to be about 2.5 times the size of Earth. And because of its size, they assumed it was a type of planet called a mini-Neptune, with a terrestrial core a little bit denser than Earth's and enough gravitation to accumulate a thick atmosphere of hydrogen and helium. But astronomers followed up their Kepler observation with another instrument in the Canary Islands known as HARPS-N. And, using its spectrometer, they found that the orbit of the star Kepler-10 was being pulled on by a truly massive object. It turned out that Kepler-10c was about 17 times as massive as Earth, much more than anyone expected. And for anything to be that heavy, it's gotta be rock. All rock and really dense rock. Which is kind of problematic because that kind of density just doesn't make sense. First of all, there's not all that much solid material out there. Hydrogen and helium are much more abundant than the elements like silicon and iron which make up rock. And we've long thought that planets with about 10 times the mass of Earth would necessarily attract thick layers of gas with their gravity. So we've been assuming that all the massive planets we find are gas giants like Jupiter, but Kepler-10c challenges that assumption, and astronomers aren't sure how that can be. It also challenges our theories about how the whole universe formed. Early in the universe's 14 billion year life, everything was made out of the two lightest and simplest elements, hydrogen and helium. Generations of stars fused those elements into heavier and heavier atoms, eventually resulting in elements like iron that make up rock. But the Kepler-10 star system formed 11 billion years ago, before the first generations of stars had time to create such materials. So where did this rock come from? Astronomers are pretty dumbfounded. So thanks a lot, Kepler-10c. I guess it's back to the drawing board. Also in news, NASA astronauts are done catching rides with the Russians. Last week, SpaceX CEO Elon Musk unveiled the first manned American spacecraft to be available since the closing of the NASA shuttle program in 2011. Now, SpaceX's Dragon V2 will be available to shuttle astronauts to the International Space Station from US soil for the low price of $20 million. It'll bring them back, too, taking up to 10 space trips in its lifetime. It's a pretty awesome little machine. Capable of transporting 7 people, the craft has the first fully printed engine, called the Super Draco, made with an alloy of nickel and iron. Dragon V2 has 8 of these powerful and spontaneously igniting Super Dracos, which Musk says will propel their craft with the maneuverability of a helicopter, allowing for precise docking and re-entry. And a state-of-the-art heat shield will protect the crew during re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. Dragon V2 will take its first test flight later this year, and we can't wait. Thanks for joining me for this update for the week's space news. And if you want to keep exploring the universe with us, check out Subbable.com/SciShow to learn how you can support SciShow Space. And don't forget to go to YouTube.com/SciShow Space and subscribe.